Oh, it's a good show.
There she is.
It's coming up.
She's right.
Otherworldlyculture.com.
SeattleMarinersSuck.com.
Oh, are you mean?
I know.
You're so mean.
An umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies: the 1992 White Men Can't Jump and the 1981 An American Werewolf in London, starring Woody Harrelson, David Naughton, Wesley Snipes, Rosie Perez, Jenny Utgutter, and Griffin Dunn. Now, two guys who were Ron Shelton's inspiration for the title White Men Can't Jump: Tim Kretschmann and Jeff Miller.
I'm going to tell you something.
What?
I'm going to tell my vertical leap.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I would pay. Wait, Tim.
Here we
Tim,
go.
Wait.
Here we go. Here it happens. See? I jumped. The whole place.
Oh my god.
Luckily, I have things reinforced over there, so we were good.
Tim has a hard time getting over this. Tim, you want to jump over that? Oh,
Those that are watching now get to see the whole thing.
Oh my god.
Here it comes.
Come on, you got it, Tim. Oh jeez. Oh my god.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Made it.
Oh
my
god. The cool
God.
thing is you went from one side of the. It's almost like you.
It's almost like we're doing a live show.
Like you went through hyperspace.
Did everybody see Herman back here? It's behind Jeff.
Yep.
But Herman's back there. He's helping out. He's showing off.
What did
our
we just
merch.
do? What the heck was that?
I don't know.
That was ludicrous. There's a rapper named Ludacris.
Well, thank you for that.
Did you
Thank
know
you
that?
for that. That's
Well,
great.
we have someone in there saying, "What's up, Holmes?" And I.
Oh, that was earlier.
Well, that's what I said. They
Oh,
said,
we-
"What up, G?"
Actually, we got a lot of people in the chat room this week. We want to thank them. You are watching Dead on...
Oh, that's
Isn't
right.
this great?
We
We should start the show.
We even started.
Dead on the Bases. He's Jeff Miller. We call him the ump. Jeff just watched Hocus Pocus 2, and he is proud to say he only hid it under the sofa once.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, I don't. Under the sofa.
It totally happened.
It totally
Now,
happened.
what
yeah.
happens in this show, I'm a horror movie fan. Jeff is a sports fan. He assigns me stinky, rotten, horrible sports movies. I give him good, wholesome American entertainment in horror movies to watch and review.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go with that. It's your show, Tim. We'll let you just pretend what you
And
think.
it's both of our show, and we have great programs.
Do we?
And I don't...
Do we?
We do.
Okay. Good.
We do. We have great programs, and I want to thank all the folks
Yes.
in there in the chat room that we didn't catch with our icons earlier. So,
What about me? I'm in the chat room.
yeah, but I don't have a button in this spot yet for it.
How'd you put it up there before?
I just created.
How'd you put it up before?
Because we're in a different scene. See, there are 15 scenes in the show. Did you know
Are you
that?
serious?
Yeah.
Which one are we in right now? 3?
This is
4?
Yeah, it's 3.
All
Main
right.
scene is
All right.
3.
All right.
Anyway, everybody, I have assigned the movie An American Werewolf in London, who I was happy to interview David Naughton at Horror Realm.
That was a great
Last
interview.
year.
I mean, and again, you
That
folks,
was this year, in fact, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Or no, last year. No, that was
2022.
This year. Holy cow.
But as you
This year is going forever.
That's
Like
okay.
This opening.
That's okay. But you know what? Me not being a horror fan, I sat in on Tim's panel, and it was very interesting. It was an interesting panel.
Well, partially because we're both extremely handsome. And then, as a sports movie...
I gave you White Men Can't Jump, Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson.
He sure did.
It's so pumped up with 90s. It's great. If anything, you can be reminiscent of the 90s.
I'll let you know if that's true or not later on in today's show. He says, I gave him White Men Can't Jump, the same way some people say, I gave that guy gonorrhea. Anyway, we're going to get things going.
I don't know about that,
Jeff.
All right, so
Jeff, you're gonna get to do your interview.
Yes.
Or your interview.
Who am I going to interview
Your
today?
review.
I'm going to interview Jenny Ugutter. She's
smoking.
Yeah, she was very pretty. I mean, and I could tell by watching this, I could tell that her and David Naughton's character were gonna hit it.
Get it on?
Well, I don't want to say it like that, but yeah, that's what they did. But I mean, you could see that if anything, during that movie, there was a great attraction between the two. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If I didn't know any better, I thought maybe they were involved while shooting the movie. Even though they shot the movie in 27 days, I think, or something like that, or 26 days. So I have American. Why do I have this paper? I don't have any notes on there. Okay, so I act like I have notes. I never have notes. Come on. So in this
Starting
movie,
early, everybody.
yeah. So, anyways, but okay. So, American Werewolf in London, right? It's
Not to be confused with An American Werewolf in Paris, which was the sequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is a 1981 film. One of the first ones by John Landis, I think. And it's up there.
Early in his career.
It's early in his career.
Yep.
And it's right in that ballpark. Tim talks about this a lot. And the more movies that I'm watching, the more it makes sense. It's an hour and 37 minutes. It gets you in there. It takes care of what it needs to. It gives you that scare factor, and it gets done.
Get in and get out.
And
just like conceiving.
I would never have put all that together, but the more of these horror movies that I watch,
Yeah.
Tim's right. The shorter that it can be, like right around,
Can I isolate that sound?
I don't know.
Tim's right.
Tim's right. So the closer you get your movie to an hour and 30 minutes, the better off they're going to be. And this movie is a prime candidate for this with an hour and 37 minutes. It has an R rating, and that's probably it's because of the gore that's in there. There's some really good, there's some gory scenes. I mean, when they're, and I'm
You're
not
going
going
to mention the nakedness?
It's not really naked. I mean, you really don't see anything.
What type of movie theater are they in near the end?
Yes, I understand
There's
that.
a lot of naked up
But
on
there's
that
not.
screen.
But you're really not seeing anything. You're seeing like bare backs and bare calves and stuff like that. I don't know. Tim and I will talk later.
You must have been messing around with the dog at certain points.
Anyways,
there was some nice full frontal.
Anyways, well, let's get back to this. So
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that, to tell you the truth. So, anyways,
Watching a movie like
and
this,
and
this is
me
what
and
happens.
me of all people, right? And so
Yeah.
So anyways,
I thought I was gonna get, hey Tim, good job this week. I was very upset just now.
Well, I can tell you why I didn't see that is because I watched the version that was on AMC.
Okay.
That's probably why I did not go to the well on this one. I was under time restraints.
By the way, it is free on Amazon Prime right now.
Okay, I didn't go there either.
R-rated. Yeah.
I didn't go there either. But anyways, now back to the movie.
Right.
So there's gore, and according to Tim and everybody else that's watched this movie uncut, there's some nudity. So anyways,
He was too scared, everybody.
no, that's not it. No.
Here it comes. There it is, everybody.
No, I wasn't. Those were some wicked characters right there. Those Nazi werewolves.
Yeah, the Nazi monster ghouls or whatever they are. Yeah.
So anyway, so what happens is David and I thought this was unique too, that David Naughton kept the name David for his character. I wonder if they did that so that. Do you think they do that?
He forgot his character's name. And
No,
I'm kidding.
I just wonder if they do that sometimes. You know,
I don't know, but there's something when you look at him, you go, "That's a David."
Yeah, and
You do.
you do, and you know what? You can also, while he's doing this movie, I see a lot of that Dr. Pepper guy. I mean, his personality pulls out. It really does.
He's very optimistic and
Yes.
upbeat.
Yes, he is. And so him and his buddy Jack. So David and Jack Goodman, played by Griffin Dunn or
Right.
Dune.
It's done.
I'm not done yet. I still have a little bit more left.
Kind of sounded like it was done. Man.
But it's kind of cool because they and then another thing that I liked about this movie is that it seemed very realistic in the fact that even from the opening scene when they get out of the truck with the sheep in it. I mean, this is the opening scene. It looks like they're in London. They look, and I'm sure they were, but it looks like they're on a countryside
In Europe, yeah.
In Europe, You can tell that they're cold. It's crappy weather. It's just, and the way that they're talking to each other, it doesn't seem scripted. Whether those were their lines or they ad-libbed throughout this whole movie, everything felt very realistic to me the way that they were talking.
Yeah.
Where in some movies, you know it's a line.
This movie was shot over in Europe.
Okay.
And most of the actors are, I believe it was the UK that it was actually shot in. And there was a rule that if you're going to shoot a movie there, at least at this time that they were under for their permit, they were only allowed X amount of Americans to actually be on screen. Everybody else had to be Brits. So this is it makes sense. There's like 2 characters that are American. Everybody else is from London. You know why? They're in Britain,
Right. So. And they only gave John Landis 3 passes for Americans to be in this, and they had to actually fight to get Griffin Dunn a passport to be in it, because they said that his role was so small that they could have easily have had someone from Britain do it. But they fought for it and they got him out there. But yeah, only 4 people.
And he actually has gone on. He's got quite a career. He's probably the biggest star in the movie.
At the time, or you mean after the movie was done? Because David Naughton is pretty big, right?
David Naughton had this film. He had the Dr. Pepper. He had Making It. He did a Disney movie that the name is escaping me right now, which I'm really upset because. But David's done a lot of television work. Griffin Dunn had a lot of movies in the 80s. That's it right there. What is it called?
Detroit Rock City?
No, it wasn't Detroit.
Hot Dog?
No. It's near the beginning of his filmography. Get toward the beginning.
Crackhead? Crack in the Floor?
No.
Ice Cream Man?
No, stop it. You're being mean. Let's see it.
Midnight Madness.
He
was in Midnight Madness? Yes, he was.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That was one of the leaders of one of the groups.
He was the good team.
There were 2 movies that came out almost same time, Midnight Madness and Scavenger Hunt, and they had very similar.
Yes. And Michael J. Fox was in that. That was where he made his film debut. Yes, he was in Midnight Madness. All right.
So those are his big movies. Griffin Dunn was in a ton of 80s stuff. That he was involved in. I think it was My Science Project. Who's That Girl? He was in
Behind the Green Door.
A lot of big, that too. But he's arguably the largest in front of the camera star out of the movie. Behind the camera, John Landis went on to have a hell of a career.
Yep.
So, including Coming to America,
right?
And there's a list.
So on with this movie here. So what happens is these 2 guys are backpacking across Europe. They they start out in this field and they follow a path which I thought was really strange, that they're actually walking to wherever they're going to end up going to, like the next town. And I thought that was unique, but they come across a tavern and they go in there and they're outsiders. I mean, everybody in there is from England, and they notice something strange about it because they see a 5-sided star on the wall that's made like scratched in with blood. And they're like, oh, this is kind of weird. And as soon as they mention it, they're almost exiled to leave. They're like, get out of here, get going.
Yep.
And they tell them that watch out for the moon. The moon's going to be full. Stay on the path. So that's already telling you what's going to be going on here. I mean, obviously from the title of the movie. And, well, you know what I'm saying. Mm. And it's starting to rain, and whether it's raining or that's what's going on the set, it just looked cold and miserable. They looked miserable. I mean,
I love it. Yeah.
It's so well done. That part of the movie is so well done. What happens is a werewolf, and it's not even giving away anything because that's a werewolf, kills Griffin Dunn, and Naughton goes back and he's going to try to save him, which, holy cow. And as the werewolf is gonna attempt to kill him, the townspeople that were in the tavern, because they felt guilty for sending them out there, shoot him. Not David Naughton, shoot the werewolf.
Okay.
And there's a quick flash.
Would have been a short film.
You're right. There's a quick flash of a guy in the ground with bullet holes in it. So you got to really pay attention to because at first you could be confused, and I was, and I'm like, wait, what's that guy doing here? And then you realize that once it was dead, it turned back to the human, right?
Right.
But what you find out is that David Naughton was scratched or bit or something, and he ends up in a hospital, and he's having all these weird dreams and flashbacks, and that kind of threw me off. I'll be honest with you. The first time he had this flashback in that, I think he's in the woods eating a deer, and I'm like, what's going on? And then
I'm picturing Jeff watching this now. This is awesome.
And I'm watching it on AMC, so I don't even know what's going on. And then he
something must have been cut.
Yeah, I'm like, did I miss something? I'm like, and then honestly, when I'm watching it, it said it was only 87 minutes long. I'm like, I better have a full version here. I'm like, this can't be this. But so somehow they fit everything in there with cutting stuff out, Tim.
Okay.
Anyways, back to this movie. So anyways, he's in this hospital bed, and he's having these flashbacks, and he's getting this nurse to like kind of like him, and she's falling for him and all that. But then his buddy Jack, that was another thing that confused me. He came back to visit him. But this is where it's sort of like a Christmas Carol. It's like a Christmas Carol in a way.
Okay.
Because
it's a ghost story. Yeah.
He visits him three times, and each time Jack is a little bit more decomposed. So in A Christmas Carol, they were different looking ghosts, but this was where so am I supposed to think that Jack is a ghost, or he's got to be a ghost, right? He talks to him.
Yeah, he's a ghost because he just kind of appears and stuff.
Okay, so he's not really walking around.
It's much more fun to have a really decaying, disgusting ghost.
Yes,
around. And
I have to say, there's a reason why this movie won the Academy Award the first time it was available for special effects. Was it special effects or was it makeup?
It was makeup.
Yeah.
It was makeup. But generally, what is won has been
best makeup by Rick Baker.
Yeah,
Rick Baker.
it was best makeup, but it has generally been won based on fantasy makeup and that sort of thing. I think a few times it's been for aging people, and that sort of thing. But generally, it's been this over the top, holy crap, what's going on type stuff.
What he did in here, what Rick Baker did in here, was phenomenal. The first time I picked up on it was when Jack shows up for the first time, and his neck is like sliced at. It looks so cool because
one piece that's like
it's like pieces of them just hanging on there. It was very very well done, and of course we all know what he did to David Naughton, and he made the werewolf face and the extensions of the hands, and that's all. I mean, the 7 seconds that you see that face expand on screen is all you really need.
It takes your breath away.
It does. It's incredible. It really is. I mean, kudos to Rick Baker. So,
and he did it. Like they say, they didn't cheat.
No,
all the lights are on. It's well lit.
And the thing of it is that now someone could go ahead and do that with CGI, and it wouldn't feel the same. Just like
it would look like crap.
Just like back in the day when musicians would get a 8-track tape out. And they would have to cut the different tracks on the actual tape itself and make it work. Now you just go on a computer and you pick up bars here and pick up bars there and put things together. It's a lot easier. And it's a lot easier and a lot cleaner. But to do this, I'd put that up against anything else you see now.
Okay.
But I'm not done.
I know.
So what happens is Naughton is getting a little bit better, whatever, and him and Nurse Alex Price, she takes him back to her flat. And it's funny because she tells him, I've had 7 lovers. I've had 3 one-night stands and 4 others. And I'm like, she's easy. I'm like, David's going to get some, isn't he? And sure enough, the next scene, they're in a shower, which they had to build because there weren't many showers that are in London, or apparently where they were shooting, there weren't many places that had showers.
Did they just smell all the time?
Well, look at them. I mean, English people have that reputation of like,
oh my God,
like jacked up teeth and smelly. Didn't you ever see European Vacation by National Lampoon?
Yeah, I did.
So anyway, they have a relationship and they find out that they really like each other. But by this time, David already knows that he's a werewolf, according to his buddy Jack. And the full moon is coming, so things are going to get scary real quick in this movie.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they get real quick after him and Nurse Alex Price do the horizontal mambo, and she goes to work, and she leaves him there all day, and all he does is pace back and forth. He doesn't read. He can't eat. That's another thing. Why couldn't he eat? Because he's a werewolf?
How much of an appetite would you have if your buddy Jack keeps coming and he's got pepperoni hanging from his face?
Is that why? I thought it was because he was a werewolf and he didn't
from Subway. Yeah.
Or from Subway. Anyways.
It's a callback.
So,
for those of you that tuned in early, that was a callback.
So what happened is David Kessler, Naughton's character, goes on a rampage that night. Mm-hmm. He ends up turning back into himself, whatever. After this over, he ends up in a zoo, and there's some more nudity, so whatever.
That's how he lost the Dr. Pepper contract, is because it was too much with the nudie.
Yeah. He actually wakes up in a cage with other wolves, and I did some research on this. They actually fed these wolves quite a bit before this scene, so that he was actually in that cage with them.
Yeah.
So that was he was hoping that'd be one take, and the take took so long that when he was running around the zoo, there was actually real people in the zoo that he asked, he goes, "Where'd you get all the extras?" They said, "Those aren't extras; those are real patrons of the zoo." So imagine that,
watching a naked guy.
So anyways, he's back to normal. He doesn't know what he did, but he knows he did something bad, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Because there's a little bit left to it, and he meets up with Jack again in a theater.
Did you have a favorite scene?
Did I?
There is one scene I love more than any other in this film.
Give me a second on that. I think I did, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Nah, maybe I didn't.
Okay.
Maybe. What is it?
My favorite scene is in the subway where he's at the top of the escalator.
Yes.
The guy's at the top of the escalator, and you just see kind of a shadow of the wolf coming. And it's like, that's so spooky because it looks really real in that scene. It looks really real, and it's like, he's done.
But see, the thing is, I look at these movies, this is the way I saw that scene. Yeah. Okay, the guy knows there's something down the end of the subway tunnel.
Right, and a lot of it is shot from the wolves' perspective.
Right, but he doesn't really take off, and when he's taking off, he's running like he can't run. He drops his umbrella. When he falls on the escalator, he doesn't
get the score.
Wait, he doesn't get up on the escalator, and he's just like laying there. I'm like, come on. That's the part that when I watch these movies, I kind of get a little bit too picky when it comes to stuff like that.
No,
I do. So anyways, so they go to see this movie. He knows he's a werewolf. It's going to be nighttime again with another full moon. Oh, this is something. How about when he's trying to have the police officer arrest him, and the police officer won't arrest him? That's my favorite scene. He tries to do so much stuff. He rips on the royal family.
Yeah.
Yes. And he won't arrest him. I'm like, why don't you just punch the officer? Then he has to arrest you. But he didn't think of that. He didn't have a Jeff Miller head going on. He's thinking of David Naughton.
Jeff always down to get arrested.
Anyways, I'm ready to give you my grade.
Okay.
So here's the thing about this movie.
I gotta find the button though. Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
There it is, the slaughtered lamb. See, I don't look up there that often anymore.
No, that's because it distracts you.
You put some good clips up there. I mean, those jackets, I remember those jackets in the 80s.
You know, I think a lot of what sells it is because those jackets are not enough for however cold it is.
No, and they're not waterproof.
Anybody that has ever been out in those puffy jackets in the rain knows it's a bad choice. Yeah. It's just a bad choice. It's a terrible choice.
But the special effects, phenomenal. The fact that the movie got in and got out, really good. I like the acting. I thought everybody they had me believing everything that was going on in this movie. Like I said, sometimes when you're watching a movie, it's just a line and it's impossible that something like that could happen. But this was really well done. I really enjoyed it. It's not like a Happy Death Day for me. It's not the thing for me. No. But I will give this a solid 7. I like this movie a lot.
Oh, all right. I was close. I figured you were at 8.
Okay.
But
I was waffling.
And this is quite a bit higher than you gave The Howling.
Yeah,
I hated.
I like this way more than The Howling.
That's interesting because I'm like the opposite.
Really?
I like howling more.
But but you know what though? This wasn't that. Okay, it's not that scary for me.
Exactly.
This one I had no problem watching. I watched it with the lights off.
It's more accessible, but you did watch the Pussified version that was on TMC. There.
Do you think it really was that much different?
No.
Okay.
No, it is pretty good. Hey, you know what time it is, Jeff?
I do.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Get out your notes because it's time for us to learn all about sports from the ump. That's right. He is the ump. And this is Otherworldly Culture Sports.
All right.
With your host,
Jeff.
the Jeff Miller.
Thanks, Tim. Tonight is Thursday night, so
You're welcome.
Thursday night football, the 1-4.
We call that the competition, Jeff. Thursday night football.
That is the competition.
Yes. Yep. Otherwise, we would rule Twitch. It is.
I'm sure we would.
100%.
And this is on Amazon Prime tonight, so
yeah,
we would. Are we up against them at all? No.
Yes,
we are
up against them on Twitch.
Oh,
when you go on Twitch right now, the front page is Thursday Night Football. I have so many people that are like, "Why do you do this show on Thursdays?" And I'm like, "We just do it that day."
Yep.
Yeah.
I like Thursdays.
Yeah, I do too. Go ahead.
I
don't know.
It used to be thirsty. It used to be thirsty Thursdays for me, but I've given that up for a while. So, anyways,
and we're all very happy about that.
Thursday night football tonight, folks. The
Yeah.
1-4 Washington Commanders. Get used to saying that. Travel to Chicago to the Windy City.
The who?
The Commanders. They're no longer the Redskins. They're the Commanders.
The Commanders.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
They travel to the Windy City and take on the Bears, who are 2-3. This Sunday, the 3-2 Jets travel to Titletown to take on Aaron Rodgers, his screwed up thumb, and the rest of the Green Bay Packers. They worked on his thumb the other day for an hour and a half. Tim, how much can you do with a thumb for an hour and a half?
You know what I heard? This is a fact now. I heard he was having thumb wars. That's how he was trained. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have a thumb war.
Yeah.
And just hours of it. It was grueling. I felt bad for him.
Yeah. And all happened on the
millions of dollars.
It all happened on that very last play in London last Sunday when they lost to the Giants 27-22. I was out in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, watching the Sioux Falls, South Dakota Cougars improve to 6-0 with their win over Southwest Minnesota State 35-14. My nephew Brian Radish plays on the defense.
Okay.
He had a big stop. He plays normally on kickoffs and kick returns.
Is that the video you put up? You put a video up. Yeah,
I did.
I actually saw
that.
that.
He had a sack 2 weeks ago. This week he had a nice stop on a run attempt in the fourth quarter. So go Cougars. They're 6-0 and they're leading their half of the division. As far as baseball is concerned, I was late tonight, sort of, because I was watching Houston beat up on the Mariners. They're up 2-0. Houston, actually, get this. Houston, when they've led in the ninth inning, going into the ninth inning, they're 95-2 this year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow is right.
That's pretty good.
The Braves are tied up in their series. San Diego and L.A. are tied in their series. And the Giants, or not the Giants, the Yankees and the Guardians, also known as the Cleveland Indians, are tied up in their series. The Bucks.
What are they all doing? Taking superhero names? Is that what's happening?
I don't know.
Is it going to be the Chicago Captain Americas?
No, the Bears are fine. There are no Grizzly Bears upset that their name is on a team.
Okay, that's good.
But the Bucks.
Milwaukee Spider-Man. That would be good. Huh?
No, that'd be
terrible.
You know what? So you know what Cleveland could have been? Cleveland used to be the Cleveland Spiders. Now that'd been kind of cool.
If Austin ever gets a good one, they could be the Austin Batman because all the bats.
Could they be the Austin Powers?
No.
You like that?
I do not like that.
You like that because you didn't think of that. You like that. Austin Powers.
I got a sports take that I happen to know. Right now in hockey, the Penguins are beating the Coyotes 3-0 in the second inning.
second period, but okay.
No, I hit.
It's the second period.
God damn it, Mike.
Anyways.
He's going to have to work harder.
So anyways, one last final note, because the NBA season is right around the corner, like next week.
Yeah.
The Bucks went 0-4 in the preseason, but that doesn't really make a difference. The season is so long anyways. There's 82 games and then another 20 to 30 in the postseason. So the Bucks open their season in Philadelphia next Thursday, 6:30 tip-off.
Fantastic.
I'm Jeff Miller, and that's the sports I know.
Yeah, otherworldly culture, sports, and that brings it to my sequence here.
Which is perfect, because we're going into one of the greatest sports movies of the 90s, White Men Can't Jump.
Really?
Yep.
That's what you think.
I already know where this is going to go, but bring it.
This is going to be painful for everyone, like my viewing. This was made by director Ron Shelton, who I actually think has talent. I don't know what happened during the filming of this. Perhaps it was
this is
a long period of maybe he had a head injury. There could have been drug usage. I don't know.
You wasted no time. You wasted no time. You know that. You didn't even candy coat this going into the movie.
Here we go. Director Ron Shelton, he wrote Bull Durham. He did Tin Cup, both of which I ranked pretty high on the show. Blue Chips, The Best of Times.
Best of Times is good. We should watch that.
He's kind of a... You know you're in charge of those movies.
I know. I will. Next season.
Excuse me. Anyway, he's kind of a one-trick pony, though. It's always sports.
Which is great.
Yeah, for you it is. No horror movies that I saw. So the movie starts, and literally before the first scene of Woody and Wesley Snipes, I'm already becoming bored. And then they show the premise, which is basically that these guys are kind of like
hustlers,
right? By the 30-minute spot I checked, I was starting to zonk out and get sleepy.
Whatever.
Which is pretty impressive because I have sleep apnea.
You're right, you do it. It's not laughing matter, but
it took me at least 35 minutes to. I did have to rewind at one point because I was out, and I'm like, "What's the last thing I remember?"
No,
and went back.
That's where you and I are different. When I fall asleep during the horror movies,
I
don't rewind.
Keep going. You keep going.
I do, but go ahead.
And I realized what my problem is.
Uh-oh.
My problem is trash talking while fun face to face when you're trash talking somebody. When you're watching professional actors, presumably read them off cue cards, not hilarious. And here's the thing, too. So they have this scam, and the scam is basically, let's have a dopey-looking white guy that can actually play baseball. What is this? Basketball.
Basketball, yeah.
Basketball. Hang out at the rink and come into the game. And, you know, they do this like 3-4 times, and all the black guys go, "Oh, you can't play." They show this like 5 times, the same scam. And it's always like, well, you can pick anybody here to play with, and they always pick Woody Harrelson. Meanwhile, there's like these 300, 400-pound fat black guys there. They're probably going to die just running on the... I'm like, come on, they're not going, well, no, at some point somebody's getting wise and says, hey, why don't you take Fat Albert this time? And then, too, Woody has always got this kind of smug smile going. At some point, somebody's going to say, he's up to something. He looks dumb. He probably is dumb. And I'm talking about the actor now. But they got to figure out they're being hustled. Now, that's only part of what's wrong with this movie. The part that really drives me nuts
my goodness.
is Rosie Perez's voice.
What? Oh, yeah.
It's the most annoying voice I've ever heard in the world. It makes me shudder. I'm actually getting the chills. You could talk about werewolf murders all night.
I'll take food that starts with
my
Q
God.
for 100 Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, her voice is annoying. I can admit that.
And then they're at.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm about to say something mean. Okay, let's do it. We're at the $5,000 tournament of basketball.
2-on-2.
And they have some score girls that are holding up.
Yes, yes.
Honest to God, I'm like, I know they shot this in L.A. What did they do? Actually say, we want girls that don't actually look good enough to hold up a sign. I was like, what is this? Even at a $5,000 thing, there'd be decent looking chicks. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. And this whole movie is based on a premise that is wrong a lot of times. I like fast talking, quick dialogue, witty dialogue, things, like His Girl Friday, where it's just bang, 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 bang. But quick talking does not mean funny talking. The stuff that they're saying, how many freaking your mama jokes do I have to hear? Give me a break. Terrible. And then, just for fun, they're like, you know what I think I'm going to do? This movie is just sputtering along. Let's go and take this movie and shoot it once right in the head and stop it dead in its tracks. Let's do a miniature episode of Jeopardy in here. And then the voice of death starts ringing in my ears. And I'm sitting there, my ears are bleeding, and I'm floating away in this ocean of pus that is her voice.
Oh my God.
I hated every minute of this thing.
I agree with her voice. I agree with that part.
And then, okay, here's
oh my
the
God.
absolute, here's how I know I hated this movie. So they get to what's supposed to be the last game. They saying it where everything kind of comes together, right?
Yes, correct.
I couldn't have cared less. I am going to tell you that I started this movie at 6:30 p.m. It is a 2-hour movie. I was not done watching this goddamn piece of shit until 10:30 because of falling asleep, running it back. A couple of times I just felt like I was about to go out, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to read some IMDb. I'm going to read something.
While you're watching the movie?
Yeah, I stopped the movie.
I was going to say, because you missed stuff, Dad.
I would surf, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I can take, 10 more minutes of Rosie. And it's like, oh, my God. I kept finding reasons not to watch. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, have I checked my email? It was horrific. But speaking of horror, this is one of my favorite parts of these reviews, and that would be the horror movie connection.
Where is it, Tim?
There it goes.
There we go.
All right. So, I know you're impressed by that.
A little bit.
Yeah. So
if it would go off when it's supposed to, I would.
Yeah, but I've changed a few things on here. So, Woody Harrelson, Zombieland, he was in, Natural Born Killers, No Country for Old Men, and he is a Dead on the Bases Hall of Fame member.
Yes.
Is he my new?
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, there you go. Why?
Because
Why is
he was in Kingpin.
So because he was in another movie that we watched?
He was in Kingpin, so he's a Dead on the Bases Hall of Fame member.
Okay.
All right.
So wait, before you get into this, Natural Born Killers is a horror movie?
I think so.
Okay.
I've
seen it, so I was just curious.
Yeah, it would fall under crime, I think, but
okay.
they're serial killers.
Hey, he's in Zombieland 2 also. Double tap. Oh, I get something. I should get a.
Very good.
Do I get?
No,
you get my little
nothing.
emoji.
I don't have a.
Oh, it's not on the right page. That's right. Don't I get anything?
There are 15 scenes.
Zombieland 2. You did not have that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I should get a point extra on my.
No, you don't.
On the score.
Wesley Snipes
was
in Blade 1, 2, and 3. He was actually on an episode of What We Do in the Shadows making fun of that role, which was pretty cool. And, as you know, he is also a member of the Dead on the Bases Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Because he was in
Major League.
Major League. And he's going to be coming later in this season in the movie that you gave me, The Fan.
The Fan.
So that's going on.
He's very
Rosie Perez. What horror movies do you think? What do you think? No, she was horrible. And her voice has haunted what... I don't dream anymore. I have sleep apnea. This is a freaking nightmare, this woman. People should stop ever hiring her for anything. That is your horror movie connection. So,
what did you give for a rating?
What do you think? You know what? Okay, I thought about this. What you're going to do, you're going to go into the chat and you're going to type a number as to what you think I'm about to hit.
Okay.
And I got to find my button.
For the record,
yes.
And I want to make sure this is true.
Yeah.
You cannot give negative. Is that correct?
I cannot give negative numbers.
I know what you're going to give it then.
Okay. Are you ready? Here we go.
Wait, am I doing it?
Yeah.
Right now.
Hit it.
What? You gave it 2?
I gave it a 2.
Wow.
Just like a basket.
Wow.
A 2. Honestly, you're going to be shocked by what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
I think I might have liked this less than North Dallas 40. I said it out loud.
Wow. You didn't know. Oh, that's right.
I hated that movie so much. Now, here's what I would have rather have watched. That is courtesy of Instagram, by the way. That is more entertaining to me than these two knuckle draggers yelling at each other once in a while.
If they would have taken Rosie Perez out and then put anybody else in there, would it have gotten any more points higher?
Probably.
Would have gotten up to a 4.
There would still have been that Jeopardy scene.
No, they don't have that at all. They just
put if they take the character out completely?
Yeah.
That would have shortened the movie, which would have improved it. So
would we have gotten to at least a 4?
We're getting requests for the birds. I knew it. Nobody, by the way, I'm checking the chat room. Nobody is asking to see Wesley Snipes or Woody Harrelson.
It's fun.
It is.
You didn't like that first scene? That first scene is so cool. When they're out on Venice Beach. The first
scene where they're singing Barbershop.
When they're out on Venice Beach and he's got to make those 3-point shots.
Honestly,
top of the key, Tim. Those.
I really didn't like this movie.
And then you see Wesley Snipes. The coolest part of that scene is that Wesley Snipes is going to shoot his last shot. And Woody Harrelson then unveils the fact that he hustled him, and he goes, "I've been hustled by better people than you." And he pulls out his hair and just goes a little bit to the left. That's a great scene. I'm sorry, but the way it's shot from behind, you can see the weather. I can
see sports fans like this.
That's a good movie, man.
I couldn't.
That's a great scene, I think.
There wasn't any drug usage, and I forgot to tell everybody.
There was no drug usage.
But it needed more murder. It definitely needed more murder. There's only a fake murder in it. That's just not satisfying to anybody. I think you know what would have improved the movie?
What?
If
I can imagine
somebody would have just blown Rosie Perez away in some scene, just randomly, probably when she was roller skating. That would have been a perfect time to just have somebody come out there. I'm thinking a shotgun, maybe a little torture porn. Maybe we go with a knife.
No, jeez.
Maybe a hockey stick and go with the blunt object. That might be fun. That would have made for a good movie. What I was watching was not a good movie. But you know what's always fun to watch in competition?
Rosie Perez merges the English language throughout.
It would be our favorite part of the show. That would be, it's trivia time. It's trivia time.
Yay.
Now, the way this works, folks, is each of us is going to read 3 statements. One of them is not true. The other 2 are true.
Oh, it's 3 and not 4. Shoot.
It's 3.
I honestly, guys.
I always write more than I need just in case.
So the funny thing about this is that I was writing up my questions, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is it? We write up 4 and 1 isn't right. I couldn't remember for life of me. So all right,
Hey, you know what? You got to write more than you need because
I never do.
it might be. They might say it. In fact, one of mine, you did say, so I know you know it, so I can't use it.
I know. I debated bringing that up. I don't know. I should hold my cards a little closer to me.
No, you got to do an entertaining job with your reviews.
Which this was pretty entertaining.
You did a pretty good job.
All right, so
why don't
you can ask me first?
Well, why don't you get in the damn camera shot? What are you doing again?
Well, it always, you know what?
All of our
I'll tell you what.
want
I'll
to
tell
see
you
us.
what. When we go to this 15th scene or whatever scene this is,
that's
off-centered because this is centered until I get to this scene, and then I'm off-center. All right, let's go.
I think you are off-center.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
In Russia.
Oh, okay.
They have the legend of werebears.
Okay.
There are werebears.
Mm-hmm.
Second one. Director John Landis was a writer for National Lampoon magazine prior to making any films.
Okay.
The voice of Yoda and Bert actually had a small speaking role in the film, which is not true.
Why? Why do you do this to me?
Why?
Because you know that I'm supposed to go with my... You know what?
You should probably think about this long and hard.
I will, and then give you the wrong answer.
And give you the wrong answer, yeah.
So, here's the thing. You want me to say that A is not correct because you're going to use the National Lampoon's thing because he wrote Animal House. So you're going to try to make me say that one's not true. But I'm going to say that one is true. And then you're going to say in Russia they have the legend of the werebears, and I think that's true. I think I've heard of that before. Now, the voice of Yoda and Bert actually had a small speaking role in this film. Now, that is where you threw the curve at me. Because do they have it could be one of those English people and they only spoke for a little small part. Right. So it could be like that dude that shot the darts. It could be
everybody watching right now is on pins and needles. Will Jeff mess it up again?
See, the werebears makes
the more he deliberates, the more he's getting further away from the truth. It's fantastic.
The werebears seems correct to me. The John Landis, I know you put that in there because he wrote Animal House.
I wrote all of these, by the way.
No, but
I wrote all.
I know you put that in there because he did Animal House also, and you're like, Jeff will link those two together and think that it's true. Mm-hmm. The voice of Yoda and Bert. That seems so...
Notice how he's reading my notes right off.
The voice of Yoda and Bert actually has a small speaking point. Well, you should highlight it next time.
Help you out.
All right, so here's how this is going to go.
All right,
you know
which
this is
one is false?
The one that's false?
The one you're telling
me. The one that's
me.
false is... The first one, John Landis, was a writer for National Lampoon magazine prior to making any films.
That was the one I read second, but that's the one that
that's the one I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is false.
So you think John Landis was not a writer at National Lampoon? That's what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, but how would he know how to write the movie? Nope, that's the one that's false.
That's the one? You're sure you want to stay with it?
Yep. Yes, baby! I got that one. Yes.
He was close to talking himself out of it, wasn't he?
I did. At first I did.
Wasn't he? John Landis didn't write for National Lampoon, but he did make Animal House.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did, people. There's a win. There's a win for Muskego.
There actually is. In Russia, they talk about werebears because that's the large predator there.
Yep, absolutely. We all know that.
The voice of Yoda and Bert is a gentleman by the name of Frank Oz.
Yes, Frank Oz. I know him.
He is in a scene when he first wakes up in the hospital room. He's the guy with the mustache, the bald guy. That's the voice of Yoda and Bert.
I knew it when I saw him. I'm like, that's him.
Now, this one I almost used and did not. Well, the one that you had guessed was this is the first film to win an Academy Award for Best Makeup.
Yep.
But this one I almost said, I wonder if you would have went for it. In legend, some werewolves kept their wolf parts on the inside of their bodies, and they would simply turn inside out to change into a werewolf. And that is a true legend, and I have never seen this in a movie. I cannot wait for somebody to try to do
their
makeup
wolf parts
on this.
On the inside,
yeah,
like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, and they did like whoop, and they become. I want to see this so bad in a movie.
That sounds fake.
All right.
It sounds like that would never ever.
All right.
But I got 5 points. That's all it makes a difference.
Go.
All right. Here we go.
Wait, Yeah, okay, go ahead. We got everything. Yep.
I love this because, oh my God. All right, here we go. Nike released Nike Hyperize. The white shoe was a Billy Hoyle shoe, and the black one was a Sidney Dean shoe, and you could purchase them out in the real world.
Okay, I don't care.
This one's gonna make his skin crawl. Little known actress Rosie Perez was discovered by Shelton during the 1989 Do the Right Thing, and since they were dating at the time, was cast in White Men Can't Jump.
All right.
2 former Hall of Fame Milwaukee Bucks had their hands in the making of White Men Can't Jump.
You know what? I know better than to sit here and deliberate. I'm just going to shoot from the hip. I hate Rosie Perez, so I'm just going to pick that one is true, that he was dating her and met her on that movie. The Bucks, who the hell knows? So yeah, I'm gonna say number 2 was the true one.
What about the? Wait, you have to guess the false one or the true one.
I guess the true one.
And you're gonna say that one was true?
Wait,
you're saying Rosie Perez was true?
No, I picked the lie.
Yeah.
Okay, that one I think is true.
Okay, I want to make sure you get the right way to do this.
Okay, I gotta pick the lie. Shit, what was the first one?
The one was about Nike. Nike released shoes that were promoting Billy Hoyle and Sidney Dean.
That one bored me way too much. Let's say that one's the lie.
No, you're wrong.
All right.
You sound like you're upset about this.
Not really.
So, okay, the 2 Bucks that were part of White Men Can't Jump, which is true. Marcus Johnson was actually the basketball player that went to the liquor store and got the gun.
Okay.
Okay, and then Bob Lanier was actually trained Snipes and Woody Harrelson before the movie to get them up and ready for the game.
It doesn't surprise me that there was some sort of expert.
Woody Harrelson said Woody Harrelson thought he was a good ball player, that he played some college ball, and he played Bob Lanier. He said he was so good. Bob Lanier smoked him, and Woody Harrelson was extremely embarrassed.
That's like when people get into the boxing ring and they have they shouldn't be going in there. It's like, oh, I wonder why I don't have any teeth left. Yeah, gee, that's shocking. All right, hold on. Oh, you got more? Okay.
Well, Nike did release the Nike Hyperize. They had a white shoe that was a Billy Hoyle, and they had a black shoe that was Sidney Dean.
Nobody.
And Rosie Perez, I love the fact that you hated Rosie Perez so much. That's why this question was awesome, because he didn't know her before that. You think Ron Shelton was dating Rosie Perez? No.
I don't care. Okay, anyway. Score, everybody.
Woo-hoo!
Look at this. We are still tight, even with the crappy pick that Jeff made.
It's all about trivia.
Which was absolute garbage. We kept it straight because Jeff got that trivia, which really redeemed him. I think this helps with the blue and the red, that people can figure out.
Unless you're colorblind.
If you're colorblind, you see that one looks a little spooky.
But anyways, all you gotta do is look at the end there, and you see that I'm winning 31-30.
Yeah, that won't last. Anyway, next week.
Oh.
Well, I got October 13th. That's because this show was supposed to be last week.
Is today the 13th?
So today is the 13th.
Oh, we gotta change those dates on there.
You should be scared.
Anyways, I'm giving
1 week from today, folks.
I'm giving Tim Eddie the Eagle, the story about Eddie the Eagle, the long jump, the ski hill long jumper in the 1992 Olympics.
Oh, it's about ski. I thought he was going to take a dump on top of that van. It looks like he's about to do something very disgusting.
So here's the thing. I've never seen this movie all the way through, so I'm actually looking forward to watching it myself.
All right. He'll probably also find it on free cable somewhere.
Hugh Jackman's in this.
Yeah. All right.
And the guy who's in the Kingsman, he's Eddie the Eagle.
Yes.
Oh,
that I knew.
the guy who played Elton John.
Yeah, what is his name? He was, by the way, I saw the Elton John movie.
Good movie.
Unbelievable. Yep. That guy did his own singing and everything.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that.
All right. And then I picked a movie that probably nobody's ever heard of. Little indie flick called Jurassic Park, which I consider the land version of Jaws. So,
okay.
We got that going on next week. I think you might make it through the movie.
I've seen this movie before.
Without wetting yourself.
But I'll tell you, see why. You don't have to go there. But the thing is that this movie has its scary moments, so I'll be ready for it.
It needs more murder. But
Jurassic Park does?
Needs a little murder.
Okay, anyways.
I bet you Eddie the Eagle has very little murder. That's
you don't
my
know
prediction.
That. There's a lot of Olympic scandal going on.
That's my prediction. With it being an Olympic film, I'm just bracing for how much drug use there's going to be.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for coming out for coming out this week. Next week, we have another big show.
Up against Thursday Night Football. I didn't know that.
Up against Thursday Night Football. Yeah, literally, if you go on to Twitch right now, because Amazon owns Twitch, they are like, they're like, do not watch Dead on the Bases. We know you want to. Watch Thursday Night Football instead, which is probably not a good game. I hear it was the Washington Senators and the Texas Oil Skinners.
Oh,
and
the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears.
I think I got that right.
You did.
Yeah, chat room. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on the rest of Twitch, which you probably don't want anything to do with. Anyway, it's time to close the Crypt and call the game. Thank you for watching. And remember to share and subscribe to our show and feed. You can find the show at otherworldlyculture.com and follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and other fine places where you find podcasts. Thanks to everybody that came out tonight on the chat room, and bring a friend. If it's sports...
Bring a friend.
I brought a friend.
Yes. Yeah.
If it's sports, it's a home run. If it's horror, run home! We're Dead on the Bases, and we'll see you next time. And this is scene 15.
Is my thing come across here?
No.
Culture.com. Rosie Perez is a goddess.
You actually named the only website with less hits than Dead on the Bases.
It's got negative hits. Unless you're Woody Harrelson, then you're hitting it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was just not good.
That entire movie, I agree.
No, I'm not going to say that.
I'm
not going to say that.
I did say it.
Nah.
I said it with my mouth.
This what you did with this mashup of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. This is great. I love this.
Why, thank you. I forget the gentleman's name, but it'll be in the show notes that wrote the songs that I put together.
Oh, there I am.
There. Yeah, we put you in there.